Always be kind to other people. You never know the impact that kindness can have on other people. Oftentimes we walk through life and we encounter certain people or situations in which people are acting in ways that we don't necessarily like or agree with or find becoming of another human being. But we must always remember that just like ourselves, everyone in life has different things that they're dealing with. They have different situations, different stresses that they're dealing with. So understanding and knowing this, we should exercise kindness in every area, because we never know how our act of kindness may turn around a day for someone else, quite possibly a life for someone else. You just never know, so you should always be available to show kindness and to be kind to other human beings. You know, I think about an email that went out several years ago. I remember it circulating, and I received it several times. There was a young man who was speaking at his graduation. He was a valedictorian, and he spoke a tale of a situation in which a young man was on his way home, was feeling low, really was on his way to go home to commit suicide because he felt he had no value. He felt like his life was worthless and there was no reason for him to go on and live. But another young man approached him and simply asked him if he wanted to hang out. The kid, feeling like, well, this is my last day anyway, might as well go hang out. He went and hung out with this kid and ended up having a great time, and ended up determining that killing himself was not an option, that it was the wrong thing for him to do, that he did have value and that he should continue on with his life. He developed a budding friendship with this other individual. Now, the great thing about that story is the guy who was telling the story, the valedictorian of the graduation, was that individual that was on his way home to commit suicide. That simple act of kindness by his friend, it changed everything for him. It changed his life. Not only did he determine that living was a viable option, that living was what he should do, he found more purpose in life and became the valedictorian of his high school class. I mean, that's amazing. But sometimes, even if it's not necessarily that life-altering, you still never know your impact that you can have on another person. I myself have a similar story, not to that degree, but my best friend Mike, I stayed with him several years ago in North Chicago, Illinois. He had a friend of his, a guy by the name of Ray, who was going through a very rough and difficult time with his significant other. Now, I didn't know Ray very well, but I'm just the type of person that I try my best to be as kind to other human beings as possible. So I was really nice with Ray, spoke with him. And during the time when I was living with Mike, Ray, you know, like I said, was going through a really rough time. He ended up staying over and sleeping on the couch at our place. And I spent several evenings just talking with Ray. Mostly listening and just letting him kind of vent and talk and express ideas, giving feedback when prompted or when necessary, and giving advice when prompted or asked of it. Thought nothing of it. Fast forward several years, in my new place, my friend Mike was coming to visit me, and his buddy Ray happened to be driving him over. Well, Ray gets here, turns out that Ray's good friend, Lee, is a neighbor of mine. So a few days later, after Ray and Mike stopped by, I see Lee in the parking lot, and I said, hey, I said, it's kind of funny that, you know, I know Ray, and Ray is a very good friend of yours. He said, yeah. He said, man, I just want to let you know, Ray speaks really highly of you. He has a lot of respect for you. He told me that there was a time when he was going through a really rough time, and he said that it was really beneficial and it really felt good to him that you took the time to talk with him while he was going through that period of time. He said he was just blown away because he didn't know you that well, but he respects you so much for that, and has a lot of respect for your just being willing to be kind to him. And I thought, man, that was amazing, because I had no idea. I had actually completely forgot about that situation with Ray. And I remembered Ray, but I didn't remember that situation until Lee brought it up. So just remember that your acts of kindness can touch people in ways that you have no idea. And even think about some times where maybe someone has shown some acts of kindness towards yourself and what it did for you. So in everything you do, just continue to try to be helpful, kind, and nice to other human beings, because you never know what they're going through, and you never know how you're able to touch and affect another person's life. What's going on? Hold up, time out. Everybody relax. Yes, I'm continuing the video. I'm in the same place but in a different space. This just works out better for me. Continuing on with the story. So I was about to end the last video and I ran into an article online. I guess I didn't run into it, but I saw an article online talking about a guy was in a gas station and there was a woman who was complaining and frustrated because she needed to get gas and she didn't have the money for it. And so she turned to storm out of the gas station from the attendant, and there was a guy standing there smiling. And she looks at him and says, "What the f are you smiling at?" And he says, "I always smile." So she storms out. So he turns to the attendant and says, "Hey, I'd like to put $20 on her tank." And there was another gentleman in line behind him, and he said, "You know what? Fill the tank up, I'll pay half." And another person in line was like, "Why would you guys do that after how rude she just was?" So anyway, the gentleman pays for the gas. He goes outside to tell the woman what he had done, and she immediately starts crying. She goes into her car and grabs the paperwork to show him. It's like, "Hey, I just started this new job, and I needed enough money to fill up my tank so I can make it back and forth to work until payday." And she was just so thankful and so appreciative. So once again, never look to somebody that's being rude or whatever towards you as a diss or as that person's character. You just never know what people are going through. So show acts of kindness, and that act of kindness turned out to be almost like a lifesaver for that woman. So you never know what people are going through. So with everything you can, everything you can muster within yourself, always be kind to other people. Always lend a helping hand to other people. Believe in the things that you would like to achieve. Look to achieve greatness, and with everything you have, go after success. Whatever that success is, however you define success, go after it with everything you have. And always, no matter what, believe in you. This is Demond K. Ross. See you next time.